Today is day 1 of Dear Me, I Love You. And I want to thank all of you so much for being here. This is my first time putting on an event like this. So I'm trying to, even though I'm very confident with the content that I'm going to share with you today, I am still trying to get used to the technology of what we're doing today. Okay, so in Dear Me, I Love You, we are going to check the sound. I think we already checked that you could hear me and see me. And just to let all of you know, don't worry about your video or your sound. We are not going to be having you share that at all. So just keep that in mind, that wherever you are, it's totally fine because we're not going to be sharing your video or sound. But there is a way to communicate with me that is in the chat. So there should be a button somewhere that says chat. It's like a little speech bubble. And if you click on that, the chat is just for me. So sometimes in a Zoom meeting, the chat can be seen by everybody, but this meeting, the chat can only, you can only talk to me through the chat. So if you're putting in something personal or you don't really want to share it with everybody here, you can put it in the chat and that will be good. So I expect a lot of activity actually in the chat because that's the way I know that you guys are there and listening and responding and everything like that. So we'll just do a practice in the chat and I will ask, can you all hear me okay? So if you can hear me, you can either do a thumbs up or say yes or something like that. Okay, we got some yeses here. That's great. Good. We can hear you. Good, good, good. Okay, let's do another one. I would like to know where everybody is right now. Where are you? Are you at home? And if you're at home, where is that? If you're out of town, where are you out of town? Okay, so you're in your bedroom. I'm just kind of looking more like geographically. If you're in like Arizona. Okay. Oh, okay. So we've got Colorado, we've got Seattle and Arizona, lots from Arizona. That's great. And for those that just joined us, I just want to let you guys know, oh, we have someone from Chandler. That's good. I just want to let you guys know that your audio and video will be muted during the course. And anything you want to put in the chat just goes to me. It does not go to the whole group. Okay, so and if you ever have a question or you want to come on for something else and have everybody hear you, you can raise your hand and I'll try and get to your question. If not, you can just put it in the chat and I'll be able to see it. Okay, I hope everyone was able to get to the worksheets that I sent. It's not necessary, but it's very helpful to what we're doing today. And definitely by tomorrow, you'll want to get to those worksheets to get the most out of the class. Okay, so if you have any questions, you're just going to put that in the chat. Very good. Great. So a little bit about me. I am native to Mesa, Arizona. I did live in Philly for 7 years. Go Eagles. And my husband and I are life coaches together. We're also LDS, and we do offer Christian-based life coaching. If that's what you would like, we can offer that as well. We do feel like a lot of what we learn in life coaching applies so much to a lot of principles that people have in religion. Okay, I'm also a mom of 4 kids. I have a golden doodle and 23 chickens. And we get about a dozen or more eggs a day. And I like to ride my bike. So reasons why you're here. Okay, so some of you wrote in that you're not really sure what to expect from life coaching. And that's very normal response. I did not know what to expect from life coaching when I first started. But some of you wrote in like some things that were going on with you, getting to your goals, managing your life, addiction recovery, which is great. My husband and I both are very passionate about that subject, and we coach a lot of people. And when you say addiction recovery, that covers so many things in life. Like there's overworking, overspending, overeating, there's a lot of overing. Okay. So we talk about that a lot in life coaching, actually. Self-love, that's great, because that's why you're here today, hopefully, to have some more self-love. Someone just wrote in, love me more. That's great. And a lot of times we're like, I do love myself, but maybe not all the time. And we're going to talk about that today, how when we're not showing love for ourselves, how we show up in the world. And it's usually not our favorite way. We have processing pain, managing a small business. That's great. We have a lot of tools to help manage small business, and family success. Those are great reasons to be here, and you're in the right place. Okay. And so if we don't get to what you specifically want to talk about today, you can always sign up for private coaching. And also I have your email, so I'll be emailing you out when we come up with new courses. Just now I'm working on a course for like teens and tweens that are dealing with a lot of depression and anxiety. So if that rings true to you, you might want to be looking for an email for that coming up pretty soon. Okay, so what is love? This is something you're going to put in the chat, okay? What is love? We need to know, because that's the topic today. So we're going to talk about love. It's this intangible thing. What is it? What is love? Don't look it up in your computer. Don't try and define it. Just what do you think love is? Put it in the chat right here. Okay, so love is being willing, let me see here, being willing to give yourself to another that's a big word, wholeheartedly. That's good. An expression, yeah, it can be that as well. Okay, so what else? What other definitions of love do we have? It's hard because it's an intangible thing. Love is an emotion. That's the basic, the most essential definition that we can think of. Like, we can think of all these other things that love means to us that we feel like it should be. That's right. Someone just said a feeling, feeling to others, and me, connection, acceptance. Love is caring. Love is selflessness. Those are all great feelings of what you feel like love is. That's great. So love overall is a feeling, okay? It's generated within us and it exists within us. Okay. So this is a concept that was really hard for me to understand when I first started learning about love, is that we cannot, and it sounds silly when I'm going to say it to you, but we cannot take love out of our body and insert it into someone else's body. Okay. Like I said, it's an intangible thing because it's an emotion. It's within our body. It exists in here. We generate it, and this is where it lives. Okay. Somebody just said the ability to give of you and your emotions and feelings unconditionally, service, connection. Yeah, that's how we identify it. Okay, so the great news is, I mean, some people think like that's not true, because like I want to make someone feel my love, or I want them to show me, or give me love. We say that a lot of times too. The great news is we get to choose who we love or don't love, and how we love or show love. Okay. For example, who, put this in the chat, who is someone that you love, that you say, I love this person, but they don't even know who you are? I want you to think about that. It could be a celebrity, a politician, a church leader. You could even love like a fictional character. Okay, we just had one more person join the group, so I just wanted to let them know that video and audio will be muted, and if you can pull up the chat, there's a very active chat going on, and the chat just comes directly to me and it does not go to the whole group. So right now we're talking about love. Okay, so somebody put Pastor Greg at Radiant Church. That's great. And maybe Pastor Greg knows who you are, and maybe he doesn't. Somebody put Gandhi. I love that, because one of mine is Mother Teresa. And I just think like I love her. Like I want to meet her and everything. Like the more I studied her life, like the more I grow to love her. Now, I am not putting that love into Mother Teresa's body, especially since she's dead, but I can still generate that love within myself. I get to choose that I love her, and it doesn't matter if she returns that love to me. I can still love her. Do you see what I'm saying? That's a choice that I have. Someone loves Justin Bieber. That's really great. That's great. Justin Bieber, Taylor Swift, all of that. And they might shout out when they're on the stage, like, I love you too. But they love you as like a group, like as a whole. You know, they're not like saying, here's my love to you specifically. Okay. So that's totally okay if they don't know who you are and you love them. Like, I can love so many people in my life that don't love me back, and that's totally fine. They get to choose, just like you get to choose who you love and how you love, they get to choose it as well. Okay, so put in the chat if you have any questions about that, because we're not taught that a lot of times, and it can be like an especially hard concept to think about love that way, especially because in TV and movies and songs, we're taught like so many weird things about love. Like, one of my favorite love songs is To Make You Feel My Love. And I love that song, but it's so untrue. Like, you can't make someone feel, you can't force them to feel your love. Okay, so why is it important that we know love is a feeling? Love is a feeling. Why is that important? Okay. Your thoughts create your feelings. Most of us never learn this. We hear a lot of times, like when we're growing up, or we even say this to our kids, did they hurt your feelings? Okay. Or we say, you made me feel bad when you did that thing. Or some people say, I heard what my friend said and it made me feel so bad about myself. Is that ringing true to you guys? Do you understand? Like, if you've had situations like that, and I'm sure maybe even today that we've accused someone or something, some circumstance in our life that caused a feeling. Okay. When I coach people all the time, they think this, like, the world is causing my feelings, or my mom is causing my feelings. And it's never true. It's always our thoughts that are causing our feelings. And this is great news, actually, because where do thoughts come from? Does anyone know? Of course, they come from our brain. Okay. Our thoughts come from our brain. And who has control over your brain? You do. So if you feel some sort of, yes, it's our choice. That's right. You have so much power in just this one concept. Okay. We're going to talk so much today is going to be all about, how our thoughts control our feelings. Okay. We just had one more person join. So I'm just going to let this person know that everybody is in the group. They're muted and no video, but we have a very active chat going on. So please find the chat and be involved in the chat. Okay, so hopefully that's the last time I say that. I think everyone's here now. Okay, so love is a feeling. We control our feelings with the thoughts in our head. Okay, so if you feel some sort of positive emotion, like love, for instance, it's not because of something someone bought you or said to you or did for you, okay? It's because of the thought you had about what that person bought for you or said to you or did to you. Same if you think a person doesn't love you. It's not because they didn't bring you flowers or didn't remember your birthday. It's because the thought you had about them not bringing you flowers or not remembering your birthday. So for an example, my husband and I, we have never bought each other anniversary gifts, okay, ever. It's just not something we've ever done. And some friends I talk to, they're so upset. My husband didn't buy me an anniversary gift, okay? And so, like, it's the same circumstance. Like, both of our husbands didn't buy us an anniversary gift, but my thought about that for my husband is like, that's fine. We don't buy each other anniversary gifts. And her thought about it is totally different. Okay, so I'm not saying you have to change your thought. I'm just saying, like, let's recognize our thoughts are creating our feelings, because that's where all of our power is. So let's dive into some real situations here. And in the chat, you can put anything you might want to share about situations that have come up in your life. If you want, we can talk about it. Or I can just talk to you here. You don't have to come on and talk about it, but you can put some sort of situation here that you've noticed might be creating you pain or joy or whatever, and that it's not, and that what the situation is. Okay. So like I said today, like the news makes me crazy or something like that. You could totally put that in the chat and we can talk about that. Okay. So I have an example here. It's a real life example of when I was a young stay-at-home mom. I had 3 kids, and you know, one in elementary school, one in preschool, one in diapers, and the life is just crazy where you're always changing the diapers. There's so many poopies, and it's just the grind, the laundry, the dishes, the running the kids around. Okay. All the meals, everybody's hungry all the time, and you're always having to clean up after everybody. Okay. So I was talking to my mom about this actually, because she is the same thing. So maybe a lot of you can relate to this too. But my husband, as well-meaning as he is, comes home from work at 5 o'clock and says, "Hey, honey, what'd you do all day?" And I'm like, "Oh, no, he didn't. He did not just say that. Are you kidding me right now? What did I do all day?" So I might think what he said, this question, "What did you do all day?" is making me so upset. Okay. It's just irritating me so much. So say in the chat, what are the thoughts I'm having right now that are creating that feeling that I have? What are the thoughts about him saying, "What did you do all day?" What's going on in my head? Okay, what are the thoughts? Thoughts are like sentences, stories in our brain, okay, that's creating this feeling of being like upset, so upset with him. Okay, so he says he doesn't see all the work that I did. He doesn't appreciate me. He's not appreciating me. That's so true. All of those things. I worked. He's questioning if I did anything. Yeah, like I'm thinking him saying, "What did you do all day?" is the same, the equivalent of, "Did you do anything today?" But it's not like, that's not even what he said. He said, "What did you do today?" So someone else said, "Has no clue. My job is meaningless." Oh, that's so good. That's so good, because that's so in there. Like I'm thinking it's all about this terrible question he asked, but it's a reflection of how I'm feeling about myself. That is such a good one. You're thinking he has expectations for how you spent your day, and maybe you have fear that you didn't meet them. Oh my goodness, that's so good. He possibly doesn't pull his weight with the kids. Yes, I could be thinking so many things about myself, so many things about him. I could be thinking, I work so hard. How dare he ask me that? I work my, someone said, "I work my butt off, but he won't ever know because he's too tired to remember, and it doesn't even matter anyway." Okay, so good. All right, you guys, I can tell we are in the same boat with these thoughts that are creating our feelings. Okay, so just as important of a question, right? What other thoughts could I have had instead that would create a feeling of love? Now, it's so hard to think about it in the moment, because in the moment, you're just like, "What? How dare you?" But let's step back. This is what we do in life coaching. We step back and we go, "Wow, that was an interesting thought I just had. That's not really working out for me. What other thoughts could I have about this situation? What other thoughts could I have about my husband coming home and he said, 'What did you do all day?' that lead to a feeling of love?" Okay, so we have, he's been away and wants to connect with me. Oh, yes. Okay, I love that one. How does that feel when you have that thought? He's been away all day and wants to connect with me. That's why he's asking what I did all day. Yes. Thank you for asking, honey. I had a rough day, but it's all working out. Yes. So now that would be an action that you take after your feeling. So that's kind of like a backwards thing we're getting to over there. But the thought you would have to have about what your husband said is maybe like, well, that was so thoughtful that he asked about my day. Then you have a different feeling, hopefully something that's loving. And then you would say to him, thank you for asking. I had a rough day, but it's all working out, something like that. Somebody's saying, finally, an adult who is interested in me. I love that. Sometimes it's like, I just need to talk to an adult. Thank you so much for asking about my day. Someone said he's truly interested in your day. Yeah, it doesn't have to be anything more than that. He's truly interested in my day. I think another one is, of course, he doesn't see the work that I did all day because I already did it. So he's asking, what did I do all day? He doesn't know because I already did it all. And obviously he wasn't here. Tired, babe. I am a little tired. I need to catch my breath. I would really like to connect. He's checking in. Yes. So he's checking in, leads you to a different feeling, maybe of connection. And then you tell him, babe, I'm tired. I really need to catch my breath. I'd like to connect, that sort of thing. Awesome. You guys have such great insight. This is great. Those are great examples. Okay. Here's a situation that just came up for me this week. And again, if you guys have any situations you want to talk about, you can totally put them in the chat and we can talk about them. It's completely anonymous. No one else can see it. But we might want to coach a little bit about why you would want to be anonymous in the first place. Okay. So my son has ADHD. This is a true story. This just happened last week. My son's 13. He has ADHD. Okay. And with that ADHD comes all the things. His brain is going all different places. He does not like doing schoolwork. We have someone that needs to be admitted. Okay, just admit it. Hopefully she didn't miss too much. Okay, so with the son having ADHD and his brain's going all over the place, he has a history of lying or bending the truth, however you want to look at it, to get what he wants. Okay. So when I found out he had a D in math for not doing his homework, it's not because he doesn't understand math, not because he's not doing well on tests or in class, he's not doing his homework. Okay. Even when he said he did. So my immediate thing is that made me so mad. That made me so mad when I found out my son was lying. That made me so mad when my son lied to me about his homework. Or that made me so mad when I saw that he had a D in math. Okay. What are the thoughts that might have led me to mad? Okay. Because him having a D in math, he had a D in math before I even looked it up on the computer. Okay. So it already existed in the world. He already had a D in math. When I saw that he had a D in math and I attached my thoughts to it, then I became mad. What are some of those thoughts? Put it in the chat. What are some of those thoughts that made me feel mad? I just want to review this because it's so important. This is so much of the work we do in life coaching, is looking at what thoughts are creating our feelings. We never want to give our power to the circumstance, to the person, to the event, anything like that, because why would you want to give your power to something that you can't control? Okay, we can control our thoughts, and in that lies all of our power. Okay, so we have the feeling of being alone. Oh, that's for another time. Okay, disrespect, like he's disrespecting me, so that made me mad. Of course, that thought would make me mad. Why did he think he couldn't be honest with me? Yes, because that's like a reflection of myself. So then I'm like, I'm mad at myself because what am I doing wrong that he thinks he has to hide from me? Okay, how could he lie to me about that? Yes, how could he lie to me about that? I didn't check on him. I wasn't doing my job. I'm a bad mom. I should have been more proactive. I'm not giving him enough attention. That was so good. Yes. So it's like the madness compounds with the more thoughts we have about it that are creating mad. Okay. It's like, I'm mad at you. I'm mad at myself. I'm kind of mad at the teachers because why didn't they tell me sooner? And I'm mad at my husband. He should have been checked. Like, it's just all this, like, more thoughts about that and the blame that happens, creating all the mad, not the D in math. Okay, if you would have told me, I could have helped you. Yeah, if you would just have been honest with me. But what am I? He has a D in math. How am I showing up? So crazy. Do you think next time he's going to tell me when he has a D in math, when my feeling about that is mad and my actions are, I get a little crazy? Probably not. Okay, because what happens in that situation? I'm not showing love for him. I'm not showing love for myself. Definitely not showing love at all. And when I'm not showing love, I'm not showing up as a person that I really want to be, the mom that I really want to be. Okay. Okay. So I'm not saying, I just want to clarify this. I'm not saying you wouldn't want to be mad if your son was lying to you. Okay. That is all we're looking at right now, is that there is this circumstance that happened and that did not create your feeling. The thought about it did. Okay. Because he lied to, and then remember this, he lied to me last month. These assignments were last month. It doesn't matter if they were last month, last week, last hour. It was in the past. He lied to me, but it's when I found out, when I attached a thought to that lie, that I got mad. Okay. We have one more. Mine was a situation to go over. Oh, yes. I understand that. Okay. Let's talk about another one. People come to life coaching a lot of times to achieve goals, okay, to get a better job. We have a couple of people that John and I are coaching right now, a few actually, that want to lose weight. Okay, so we put their weight is just a circumstance. Let's say they weigh 300 pounds, okay? And they think, my weight makes me feel so disgusting. My weight makes me feel unloved or undeserving or something like that. Okay. The weight is just a number. It's just information. All right. There could be any number there. It's just information. It cannot make you feel a certain way. So let me give you an example. Have you ever watched that show, My 1,000 Pound Life? I think it's on TLC. I don't have cable, but I've seen it like at the gym or at airports or something like that. These people that are 1,000 pounds, okay? If one of those people got to be 300 pounds, they'd be feeling pretty amazing about themselves, okay? They would think they're a rock star. And why not? They just lost 700 pounds. So being 300 pounds is just information, okay? Think about this. That 1,000 pound person, 600 pound life. I'm so sorry, but I did see one that the person was 1,000 pounds. It had like escalated, like 600 isn't shock and awe anymore. Now we need the 1,000 pound life. Okay. So, the 300 pound, let's think about the person that lost 1,000 pounds. Now they're 300 pounds and they feel amazing about themselves. They feel, like they could conquer the world at 300 pounds. Okay. So think about that. Whatever weight you are right now, you can feel amazing at that weight that you are right now, or whatever it is, the way you look right now. Not when you lose the weight, not when you get more money, not when that zit on your nose goes away. You can feel that great about yourself and how you look right now. Thankfully, for me, I never waited to get taller. Okay. So those of you that know me personally, I'm 5 foot tall. I never grew over that. And I always thought, when I'm a little taller, I can show up in the world a little better. Even now, as an adult, it's the craziest thing. Even though I know I'm never going to be taller than this. In fact, I'll get shorter as we get older. But I think, if there's like a big conference or event or something, I'm like, if I was just a little taller, like even 3 inches taller, then I could wear like some 3-inch wedges, and then I could show up better at this event because I'd be taller. Like it might sound weird to all of you guys listening if you're tall, but this is a thing that's on my mind like all the time that I have to work on and get over. So your height might not even be an issue because you're like, I'm 5'6", I'm already amazing. Okay, so that's something I work on. I'm short. I am 5 foot. That's it. I'm 5 foot. I can still show up in the world. I can still make an impact. I can still be valuable. Okay. This is a situation that happens a lot. Okay. A lot of women come to coaching and they say, my husband looks at pornography. Okay. I just found out that he looked at pornography. And I feel worthless. I feel like I'm not as beautiful, like I'm not desired, like he doesn't really care about me. Okay. So how do we know? Let's put in the chat. How do we know that's not true? Your husband looking at pornography does not make you feel less desirable. How do we know that's not true? I'm going to see if you guys been paying attention. How do we know it's not true that just because your husband looked at pornography is not creating the feeling of less worthy or less desired? Okay, because your husband, yes, it's because of the thoughts you have about your husband looking at pornography. Yes, it's just a thought or feeling. He may have an addiction he is struggling with. That's exactly right. Okay, so when you found out your husband was looking at pornography and attached a thought to it, that's when you started feeling less worthy, less beautiful, less desired. Thoughts create the feeling. Exactly. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you're catching on to this. Thoughts create the feeling, because our brain will always want to say, but wait, there's this one situation where I don't think that's true. And it's always true. It always is true. Okay. So until we learned about that husband looking at pornography, we never felt anything. Okay. A lot of women don't get that because it's so painful to them. And I'm not saying a husband should or shouldn't look at pornography. That's not for me to decide. All I'm saying is that when a person or situation or something someone said made us feel a certain way, we're going to give all of our power to that person or that situation. Why would you ever want to do that? Why would you ever want to give your power for how you feel and how you show up in the world to somebody else that you can't even control? Okay. Very powerful thought. Are you guys resonating with this? I want to know. Just put it in the chat if this is making sense to everybody. And if you have any questions, just totally put them down there in the chat. Okay. Also, just a reminder, if you ever want to do more coaching on this, like on a one-on-one basis, you can go to my website and sign up for individual coaching. And we'll also be having a lot of group sessions like this. So just be checking your email if you're ever interested in something like that. Okay, so recognizing that it's not what the person did, but it's how I'm thinking about it that's giving me those feelings. Okay, that's where all our power is. Let's say like the riots and the looting that happened last year. I was like, I'm not okay with that. But it's not because of the riots and the looting. It's because of my thoughts and my beliefs about riots and looting. Obviously, plenty of people thought riots and looting were okay. I think it was like March and April of last year. Okay. So obviously their thoughts and beliefs about it were different than mine. Okay. We have one more I want to share. This is one that comes up a lot. Okay. The house is a mess. The kids' homework isn't done. There's dirty dishes in the sink. There's piles of laundry. Okay. It's all piling up. And the house is driving me crazy. The house being in this circumstance is driving me crazy. So I have this like feeling inside of me of like maybe overwhelmed or dysregular or angry even. There's all sorts of feelings when the house gets like that, like where my feelings just start going crazy. Okay. Now, what are the thoughts? We're going to put this in the chat again. What are the thoughts that I'm having that are leading me to all the feelings that I'm having? What are the thoughts I'm having about the house, the mess, the kids not doing their homework, all those things? What are the thoughts I'm having that are causing me to feel those feelings? I'm failing. Oh my gosh, that's such a hard one. Yes, absolutely. I'm failing. Every time will lead you to a negative emotion. I'm in this alone. I love that. Yes. When we're thinking that, guys, when we're thinking I'm all alone and failing, will that ever lead to love? Never. Never, ever. This is chaotic. Yes. Overwhelm. My husband is going to be mad. Oh, that's such a good one. What about my husband isn't healthy? I'm a really crappy mom if I can't keep up on everything. All of these things are up to me if I want to get them done. Yeah. The house, my friends, is not driving you crazy. The thoughts you have about that situation are driving you crazy. I know this because I have people in my life. I won't say names, and no, it's nobody that's on this call. People in my life that live like that all the time. Their kids don't do their homework. Okay. They don't clean their house. They have piles of laundry from weeks of not doing the laundry, piles of dishes, piles of everything. And they don't care. They're doing their thing. The house and all the things that I'm like, that would drive me crazy. It's not driving them crazy because they have a totally different thought about it. Their thoughts about it are, well, let's think. If you had a situation like that I explained, what are your thoughts that you could have about it that wouldn't drive you to anger? What are the other feelings? When we have my husband's going to be mad, that's kind of like, maybe it's scared, maybe embarrassed, all of that. What other, sometimes it's hard to think, like there's no other thought I could have other than I'm angry and embarrassed and mad. The feeling, there's no other feeling I could have besides angry, embarrassed, and mad. But let's think, if your house was a mess and you had a different thought about it, what could it be? How about, I don't care about the house. I don't care. Okay, but you could totally have that thought. I don't care about the house, so it doesn't make you crazy. I think that's probably the person I was referencing before. Like, she's like, I don't care. Why would I care about the house? It doesn't drive me crazy. I'm prioritizing something else that is more important to me. I love that. Yes, girl, because when that's true, it feels so good. When I started, I had a product-based business before I was a life coach. My house was a mess all the time. It's a product-based business, y'all, with like crinkle cut paper, rubber bands, paper clips. It was tissue paper, all the boxes piled up in my entryway, plus the normal mess that I wasn't getting to because I was so focused on my business. I mean, anyone that came to my house would attest, this house was full of stuff. It was insane. But having that thought right there, I'm prioritizing something else in my life right now. So this is more important to me than the dirty dishes. Like, that just gives me all the power. Rather than saying my house is driving me crazy, it's like I'm doing this thing with my life. And I love that because the person that wrote that in is doing something pretty cool with her life right now. My expectations of how my house should be are too high. Take a moment to breathe. That's good. There are more important priorities. Yes, people live here. It's true. It is so true because it is what it is. How about this? We see one room at a time, or am I going to focus on one thing in this moment that needs my attention? Yeah, you can just be like, yeah, I'm not focusing on that right now because I have this other thing, or maybe this other project that I'm more worried about right now. How about this one, you guys? I'm out of town. went on a girls' trip. I don't even know what's going on at home. And I don't care because I'm on a girls' trip having the time of my life. The house isn't even on my mind. I'm not even giving it a thought because I'm gone. Okay. I'm not even seeing it. Okay. So those thoughts are what's causing your feeling, not the event. I think we've got that down. Okay. So in your worksheet that I gave you guys, the first question, let me pull it up right here and get your worksheet out if you have it. The first question is identify and write any disempowering thoughts you have about yourself regularly. Okay, and you can put that in the chat right here. And then remember, the chat is just only I can see it. And if you're comfortable sharing, then you can share that in the chat. Okay, so while you're answering, I want to assure you this, okay? Nothing has gone wrong with your brain, okay? Nothing has gone wrong. Your brain, all of our brains are programmed to find negativity to avoid death and danger. Okay, that's our primitive brain. It's like going back to the caveman, okay? Our brain is just wired to be looking out, finding threats, finding danger, finding negativity to keep ourselves safe. Okay, nothing is wrong with you because you have these thoughts. Okay, you're just letting the primitive brain run the house. That's like, it's like giving a toddler the keys to your car. Okay, but sometimes we do it because we just haven't learned how to do it any other way. Okay, so it takes, I'm going to read some of your comments in just a minute. It takes mental work, mental energy to retrain different thoughts. So you engage what's called your prefrontal cortex or your intentional brain. That's the decision-making center, okay? So it's like a toddler brain versus a parent brain. What do toddlers do? They run with scissors. They throw tantrums. They throw their diaper off and sling poop everywhere. They're just crazy. They cry. They throw fits. That's what we do. We throw fits. This is driving me crazy. It's awful. It's terrible, okay? That's what toddlers do. And what do parents do? They give the toddler lots of reminders, lots of chances. They have to train them. They have to tell them everything's going to be okay. All right. Okay, I'm going to read some of your disempowering thoughts. You're making the wrong decision. You don't deserve to get better. Yeah. My weight is holding me back and causing all sorts of problems. Absolutely. Those are disempowering for sure. Can't keep up with modern technology. I should be smarter than this. Ooh, can't and should are some of the most toxic words we can use against ourselves, okay? Or you don't, that was one of them. You don't deserve, oh, pain. That's gonna lead to pain every time. I can't do it all. Yeah, there's that can't again. My anxiety and depression and feeling of being alone are causing marriage problems and self-doubt. Yes, I don't spend enough time with my kids and I'm a distracted mom. What if I am wasting my time and money? Okay, so whenever we have, so that's a question. And whenever we have a question like that, that's our thought, we always want to answer it. Okay, so if I was you and I said that back to you, what if you're wasting your time and money? What would you make that mean? Like, what if? What's the answer? Is the answer, so the feeling from your answer is going to be totally different. What if I'm wasting my time and my money and I have this amazing learning experience where I grew and I learned more about myself and met a bunch of amazing people? Totally different feeling than what if I'm wasting my time and money and the thought is I'm a waste of time and money. Totally different feeling that happens right there. I've been this way so long, I don't have the energy. Yeah. Okay, you guys are giving me the feels right now. My thoughts about your thoughts are giving me the feels right now. Okay, let's see here. So we want to take our thoughts and put them on trial. Okay, so I have in the questionnaire, why do you have these thoughts? And if you guys filled it out ahead of time, a lot of you probably say, well, because the way I was raised and my mom, and then this thing that's going on, and my husband said this thing, or my kids did this. You're going to have all sorts of circumstances. Okay. Now, if you're doing the worksheet later, you're going to be like, oh, I know, because she said it's from my thoughts. So your answers might vary depending on if you did the worksheet before or if you did after. How do you feel when you have these thoughts? And we're talking about that. We're going to talk tons about feelings tomorrow. Tomorrow's all about feelings. And then what do you do or not do when you feel that way? That's like your action, the action that you're taking from your feelings. And you always take action from your feelings. You take action because you have a feeling or because you want to change your feeling. That's why we do what we do. Okay. Okay. So we want to put our thoughts on trial. Here's my thought. So we're going to do like a mental download of some thoughts. And that's kind of what you did in the worksheet. Like you kind of downloaded your thoughts onto the worksheet. You want to look at them and put them on trial and say, is that a useful thought that I'm having right now? It's important right here to not ask if it's a positive thought. A lot of people are like, oh, if my thoughts cause my feelings, I'm just gonna have positive thoughts all the time, and then I'll always have positive feelings. That's the key to life, right? To just be happy all the time. No, my friends, that is not the key to life. Okay, if someone think about that, why would you want to have happy, positive feelings all the time? If someone is breaking into your house, into my house, okay, I want to think I'm in danger, and I want to have fear. I want to feel fear in my body, because I want to keep my family safe. I want to take action on that. I want to call 911 or run away or scream or whatever. I want to feel fear. Okay. There are times in your life you don't want to be like, oh, I shouldn't be thinking this thought that I'm in danger because I shouldn't be feeling fear because that's a bad emotion. No, you want to think that. You want to feel that. So we're not asking what thoughts you have that are positive. We're asking what thoughts you have that are useful. It's a very important difference. The point of having emotion, okay, is to feel all the emotions. We're not trying to turn you into like some mindless happy robot. Okay, that's not the point of life. That's not the point of coaching. That's definitely never going to lead to a complete and full life. Feeling all the emotions. I gave you that emotions wheel. Okay, that's in your packet. Feeling all the emotions is part of life. And tomorrow is so good. We have so many goodies about how to feel those emotions without taking negative actions in your life. It's like the key to everything right here. Okay. So just today, okay, I was feeling, of course, super nervous about hosting my first event here. As you can imagine, okay, what does nervous feel like? I was cold and sweaty at the same time. That's like one of the most uncomfortable feelings, because I'm like, do I wear a jacket or do I take a cold shower? I don't know. Like I'm just all the things, shaky, all those things. So I recognized that I was nervous. I went out to my backyard and I just like felt nervous. Like this is how nervous feels. Okay. And I looked at my thoughts. What are my thoughts that are making me feel nervous right now? Because this conference, this session that we're doing right now is not making me feel nervous. It's the thoughts I'm having about this that are making me feel nervous. Okay. So I tried to change my thoughts. I tried to think, I tried this on. This is my trial. My thoughts are on trial. Okay. My thought is I might fail. I might mess up. Maybe the link won't work. Maybe no one will show up. Like all these things have been in my mind. Of course, I'm going to be nervous with all those thoughts jumping around in there. Okay. So I tried to change my thought. I said, okay, I'm going to try. Everybody loves you. You're going to be great. Everybody loves you. And that didn't make me feel less nervous. It didn't work. It wasn't believable for me. Okay. It wasn't useful. Then I tried on this one that really helped. It was, I love you. I love you. I do. that created love. That feeling of love was created in my body. And that feeling of love, like now I'm like projecting it onto all of you that are here. Like when I'm feeling love for you all, I show up so differently. I talk differently because of how I'm feeling for you right now. Okay. Think about Ebenezer Scrooge in the Christmas Carol. Once he changed his thoughts about his past, his present, and his future, he was filled with love. And he loved everyone. And he's throwing his money away and giving out turkeys and whatever. I don't know. I haven't read the book, but I'm just talking about like the Disney version with Mickey Mouse. So hopefully that's kind of the same. Okay, so how to find a useful thought and why self-help mantras don't work. Have you ever tried looking in the mirror and just going, you're worthy, you're beautiful, you're desirable, and it doesn't work? Like maybe that's worked for somebody. If it's worked for you, put it in the chat right here. It's never worked for me. First of all, when I'm not feeling loved or worthy or accepted, I can't even look at myself in the mirror. So I don't know how people expect me to look in the mirror and tell myself a bunch of lies that I don't believe about myself. It's like as useless as those cat posters with the cat that's hanging on the branch and it says, hang in there. It's like, what is that? That's not helpful, okay? So many times we cannot go from I can't to I can. It's because they're opposite. And our brain will like that doesn't make sense, okay? We have neural pathways in our brain. You don't have to write that down, okay? I'm picturing one of my friends that loves to take notes during our sessions, and she's just like vigorously writing these down. We don't have to write down the word neural pathways. Okay, these neural pathways are to protect our brain from working too hard. Think about when you get in the shower and you just automatically wash the same part of your body all the way and you do the same thing every day. It's to preserve energy, okay? So it's meant to be this way, to preserve our energy, okay? And then let's think of those thoughts that you're having. And I'm gonna go back to them. I don't spend enough time with my kids and I'm a distracted mom. Okay. Or I'm wasting my time and money. Okay, so these disempowering thoughts we're having, I want you to think about this. These neural pathways in your brain are like a hiking trail. So like we just went hiking with my kids up to Hole in the Rock this last weekend. There's a very obvious path, okay? There's a very obvious path. It's well worn. There's signs to it. It's like, this is the way to get here. Those neural pathways exist in your brain with this thought that you have. Another one, I've been this way too long. I don't have the energy. Yes, that's your neural pathway. And even though at the end of that trail, there's pain, okay, your brain's going to keep going there. Boop, 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 boop. Because what does our brain do? It preserves energy. And that's the easy trail. Even though it leads to pain, our brain still wants to go there because that's the easy way. Okay, again, nothing's gone wrong with your brain. That's what all brains do. Okay, but the good news is our brains are plastic, so we can change the neural pathways in our brain. So that same hike that we had, there was a trail that went off this way, okay? And we're like, where does that trail go? And we never found out because we're lazy and we want to do the easy way that everyone else is doing, okay? But there's always that trail when you're on a hike where you're like, where does that trail go? That's the trail we want to follow when we get a new thought, okay? So I'm wasting my time and money. That's the main trail that we're taking. What if we went on this little trail that had a new thought, a useful thought? Because I'm wasting my time and money that's not the thought that's gonna get us to our goal. I'm wasting my time and money is gonna create more pain. When we have pain, we often don't take action on what we really want to accomplish in our life, okay? So think about, we have a few minutes left. Think about what about Bob, okay? That's one of my family's favorite movies. Bob is like, he can't leave his house. He can't do anything because of the thoughts in his brain. Everything's going to kill him. Everything's a danger. Okay. And he sees Dr. Leo Marvin, and he has to take stairs, 47 flights of stairs, because he's afraid of elevators. Anyway, Dr. Marvin gives him this suggestion: baby steps. Okay. So baby steps with your thought, because it's really hard to say, I'm not worthy, to jump and say, I'm totally worthy, or I don't love myself, to I love myself. It's really hard to get there. Okay. So we want baby steps with our thoughts. And that's when you come to coaching that we try and figure out. We try on thoughts, and your brain will tell you, yeah, that one resonates with me. I can go with that one. And when it stops working, or maybe you've created a strong neural pathway for that brain, for that thought, then we can try on a different thought. Let's try this. See if this helps you get even farther on the path that you're trying to go on. Okay, we have a few minutes left. And if you guys want to hang out just a few minutes after 2 o'clock, I can continue to talk about the next page on our worksheet. It's CTFAR. And this is what's called the model. And those that have been in coaching with me know a little bit about this model already. Circumstances that we have talked about, they're always neutral. They're provable facts. Thoughts give meaning to our circumstances, and it's usually a story that feels very true. Okay? Like one of these thoughts: I have been this way for so long and I don't have the energy. That can totally feel like a real circumstance. It's actually a thought. Okay? Feelings are emotions that we feel in our body. We talked about that with love. And actions, we always take action from a feeling. It's what we do or don't do. And the result, it always happens from our actions. So like the result of me yelling at my son or getting upset at him for not doing his math, the result is he's not going to come to me in the future when he has a D in math. Like that's just how it goes. And I'm not, the other result is I'm not showing up as the mom I want to be. I'm not creating a loving environment like I want. Okay, that's the result. And we do this all the time with coaching. Okay, so an example, I had 2 sessions in a row like this, 2 clients in a row. Okay, they both came to me and said, I'm not a morning person. They might think that's just the facts. I'm not a morning person. What is the fact? Mornings. Okay, that's a fact. They've all, since I've been born, since I know anyway, they've always happened. Mornings have always happened. But this I'm not a morning person thought, okay, even though it's leading on that trail to pain, because both of these people, they're like, I want to wake up in the morning. I want to have breakfast with my kids. I want to say bye to my husband. I want to meditate in the morning. All these things that they want. It's really hard to say, I can't wake up in the morning. I'm not a morning person, and saying like, oh yeah, I'm a morning person now. Like that's fake. Your brain is going to recognize that immediately. So what do you think is going to happen when you're telling yourself I'm not a morning person? You're going to find all the evidence to see that you're not a morning person. Like, see, I didn't wake up that time or that time or that time or that time. And then I tried and I didn't do it again. I'm not a morning person. And then I did wake up early and I was grumpy. So I'm not a morning person. You're going to keep finding evidence for your thought. The mind sees what the eye looks for. Okay. So what's going to happen when you're telling yourself I'm not a morning person? Anytime, and you guys did a lot of I can't in here in your thoughts, you're always going to lead to a feeling that feels a lot like defeated. So you're already like punching yourself in the face before your day's even started. Like just with this thought that you're having, I can't, that's like, boom, defeated. It's like you're fighting with someone. Who are you fighting? You're fighting with your own brain. You're fighting with yourself. Okay. So of course, when you're feeling defeated, you're going to sleep in. You're not ever going to wake up early and have that intentional morning. But what if we do a baby step to a new thought? I could wake up early. Okay. That may lead to some curiosity. And then you might try waking up early. You might study about how people wake up early. You might study about having intentional mornings. Set a protocol for yourself. Then we're going to baby step that further. I will wake up early. Okay. Then you're feeling more determined. You're setting goals, setting your alarm, setting out your clothes. Okay. I will wake up early. And then what about our final thought that gets us to a feeling of love? I am worthy of having an intentional morning. Okay. Like I love myself so much that I want to wake up and get those things that I want to happen with my life. That always leads to a feeling of love, gets us to the actions that we're trying to take. And then as a result, we're getting that thing that we actually want and desire. Does this make sense to everybody? So just put in the chat if it's making sense to everybody, because I just want to be sure this is resonating. And I know it's past time, so I'm going to, this is so good. Oh, thank you. Yes, it's so good. Okay, great. We're gonna close up here. Tomorrow, like I said, is all about feelings and what I call the manual. So come tomorrow, we're gonna talk all about feelings. And someone said, we feel you on this. That's good. Okay, so be careful. Before I leave you, I want you all to be careful. When people hear that thoughts create their feelings, they always want to change their thoughts so they only have good feelings. Okay, hold on. Don't go home today or wherever you are and just be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to just like take charge of my life and change all my thoughts. And I'm just going to feel super great all the time. I do want you to feel great, like 50% of the time. Okay. If we can get you to feel great 50% of the time, that's the goal. Okay. That's the balance in life. Okay. Why would you ever want to feel great 100% of the time? We talked about that before. So sometimes it's useful to feel negative emotion. Sometimes it's not. A lot of these disempowering thoughts, those aren't useful. We want to like crush those, destroy them, like get rid of those. It takes time and practice. You can work on it on your own. I gave you the formula and I gave you a lot of the tools today. If you want to come to private coaching with me or look for more group sessions, we can do that too and work on it there. I strongly recommend private coaching. It's so good. I do private coaching every week for myself and it feels so good. Okay. Yes. So tomorrow we're going to be talking all about feelings. It's going to be great. I just want to say a negative feeling like today, I was nervous. That's okay, right? Like, of course I'm going to be nervous. I'm doing my first webinar or whatever you call this. Or uncomfortable. Sometimes it's okay to be uncomfortable. Is starting a business comfortable? Going to college, is that comfortable? Like, we don't always want to be comfortable and happy, okay? Never the point of life. And we just want to make sure we're uncomfortable for the right reasons and we're nervous for the right reasons, okay? So they're getting us to our goal. Just like I'm scared because someone's breaking my house, that's for the right reason, okay? All right, you guys were great today. I will see you tomorrow at the same time. Please try and do the feelings pages in your workbook. I think it's pages 3 and 4 and 5, if you can. If you can, that would be really helpful to do for tomorrow. Okay, take care, everybody. I will see you then.